Jimmy, let me take you back.
Oh, geez.
Let me take you back. Okay. I keep reminding my friends that Kenya is a big economy, and you need to respect that part. We need to stop small talk on our economy. How much did KRA collect last year?
2 trillion.
2.3.
Yeah.
What is the absolute figure? Let's assume that tax was standard, 16%. What is the absolute figure?
No, basically, our economy is about 10 trillion. That's
Thank you. Stop there.
Yeah.
Now, our head of state, William Samoei Ruto, is in charge of 10 trillion shillings. Why can't he be a target for every investor? What's wrong with that?
You know, Jimmy, this brings us back to what he said.
What's wrong
Kenya
with
is that young, ripe guy.
Yes.
I told you, Kenya is cheap.
Yes.
The teacher is interested, the neighbor is interested, the church elder is interested, the shopkeeper is interested, so they all give you a sweet here. The tout is interested.
Jimmy,
it depends on how you play your cards.
Thank you. And he's a sharp guy.
And I think it was smart of him, since the rest after Moi was more Western.
Yeah.
Then Kibaki and Uhuru seem to have gone Eastern. Yeah. It's only fair that he comes back west. Then you're balanced. Now you see when the Abu Dhabi guy is also interested in.
Now they're seniors.
There's something here.
There's something here. I want to play with this chick. Let me tell you. That beautiful chick can even be thrown at wrong change. They just give you wrong change intentionally. So that you come back.
What is wrong change? Flight. Oh, okay. I get it.
Sharp guy.
I get it. Sharp guy. Okay, guys. I get it. Okay.
I want to remind you again. He is running a 10 trillion outfit.
He's attractive.
Yeah, he's very attractive.
Very attractive.
He has the best position. Look, South Africa is on BRICS right now.
Yes.
Let's not talk about the elections.
Yes.
But he's on BRICS.
Yes.
West Africa has a lot of infiltration of the Russians taking over
taking over that part.
Apparently, taking over the French things. So what option is left for the West?
Africa.
Kenya.
And you need Kenya strategically. Why? We're an IT hub.
Yes.
Security hub.
Finance.
You speak English.
Hub, finance. We speak English.
Yeah. You're very hardworking.
We're hardworking. We are very, very adventurous.
You're very easy to convince.
We are easy to convince. No, we are easy to work with.
Easy to work with. Let's speak it like now.
Speak it the way
corporate English.
Easy to work with. Kenyans are easier to work with. As in, we can get around.
You know, there's in some countries it's called corruption. It's called facilitation.
And there's so much. Let's not talk of that. It's facilitation. A Kenyan will understand the deal faster than our neighbor. I am not even blinking about that. If you send a Kenyan to a table, negotiation table, you know how it goes. So, who wouldn't want to do business with you?
Guys, let's talk about the finance bill.
Please.
Correct.
Pros and cons.
Correct. Now, I want to ask you a question.
Okay.
Because that's what I was thinking as going through this finance bill. I've had a lot of people talk about many things about it.
Yes.
And when he elected this government into power, they had a nice analogy of dynasty versus hustle. Right? And they all said, yes, we are hustlers.
The Sisi,
the hustlers. There's just 3 or 4 families that are dynasties. I come and I look at this finance bill now. And I just want to pick 3 or 4 points, right? Because they are very relevant to our listeners. So number one, this motor vehicle circulation tax.
Yes.
That thing is not an income tax. It's not a wealth tax. It's not a consumption tax.
Yeah.
What is it?
It's something that they're creating. Yeah. Because basically they're taxing an asset. Yeah. Because if you say a car makes you money, it means that car is for trade, and that car is already being taxed, advance tax, and all of these things.
Yes.
So it's already being paid for tax. So it is no. We charging you, it's like we coming in one day telling you, Jimmy, because you have a laptop here, and you need to pay for that. And at least this is good, probably using it for work, but maybe you have a laptop at home.
Yes.
So if we tell them, okay, if you allow them, now take this motor vehicle tax, what stops them next time to coming and tell you, by the way, Jimmy, you have this land somewhere, you should pay a bit of money for it. And there's someone who's relating a bill like that.
There's a bill like that, yes.
So why should you be taxed for owning something that is not generating you income? So my question is, and then when you look at the motor vehicle tax, it has a cap. As in after 100,000, meaning any vehicle over 4 million shillings, it becomes irrelevant. Everyone pays 100,000.
100K.
Yeah? So who's actually being taxed? The guy who's has a car between, let's say, 2.4 million and below.
4 million and below.
Now go to the roads today.
Oh, wow. Yes.
What is the percentage of those cars on the road?
90.
Probably 95.
Yes.
Yeah,
90%.
96.
Yes.
Because the others are government, most of them.
Yes.
Most of
The bigger ones are mostly government and companies, but for
The
for personal use.
Private owner.
How many people can afford a car worth more than 2 million,
Aye.
3 million?
No, it's a very
That's
small
even a RAV4 is
Yeah.
towards the end. Huh?
Yes.
So who's being taxed?
The hustler.
You're right, Abu.
That guy who believed he's a hustler.
He's the hustler. That was
The one who was
first
busy
narrative
typing on the typing here, saying the way you know this
No,
guy.
it's our government.
Tuelewa, because you
Tuelewa.
assumed in your head that the dynasty
He
was.
was talking to you.
But look at this tax. Dynasty
It's
has been
directed
shielded.
towards you.
Dynasty has been shielded. The bigger people can afford a vehicle more than 4 million shillings. They've been shielded. As in, from 4 million to 35 million, you all pay 100,000.
But there's a way around that.
Now, let me tell you.
Now,
Okay, so it's the value of the car.
Yes.
Sindio? Doesn't matter how much I bought it for.
yes,
So it doesn't matter how much I
it
bought
has
it for.
devalued every year.
See, it's an insurance.
By the way, this my friend here is in insurance, and I can bet you that the number of cars that of these cars, this
Yes.
up to 0 to 4
Yes.
million, that actually keep comprehensive cover without a loan,
Yes.
It's a
are
number
negligible.
discussion. Let me add on to that. For the first time, and maybe I'll be corrected, I saw a formal communication from one of the regulators, who is the Insurance Regulatory Authority, who wrote actually back to say that this will actually not augur well.
To say KI.
Even
the
from,
motor,
it was AKI.
the
Sorry.
motor vehicle tax.
It was not IRA, it was AKI.
AKI.
AKI,
Association of
Yes,
Kenya Insurance.
Association of Kenya Insurance.
Yes.
Now, that got me thinking. Do you remember when we raised insurance premiums to 7.5? Can I tell you the number of vehicles that were downgraded to third party? It was not funny. Companies were struggling even to write losses, let alone profits. It was bad because suddenly your book now shifts. You can imagine someone who was paying you 300,000
Yes.
shillings.
As I'm saying,
7.5.
Your vehicle, Jimmy,
Yeah.
that's 350,000 shillings a month. No, a year.
a year, yes.
Then you downgrade suddenly to 7,500.
Eh?
What will that do to our cash book? To that insurer's cash book. Now this will now put more strain on it. Because I even see them when they come to pay those premiums are booked. It's
No more than that. This
Yes.
guy is paying 7.5. You tell him no, your car is worth 4 million, pay me another 100,000.
Pay me
He's not
another
gonna
100.
pay.
he's not gonna pay it.
He's not gonna have that insurance
Especially-
anyway.
And there's
Sasa
this
kwa tunaongea kwa barabara na karao.
and let me tell you, this notion of thinking a guy with a VX is well off. I want to make this thing clear. I handle those customers, and these guys will discuss the quote to the last cent. You think now adding 100,000 to him is
I
funny?
think it rises.
This tax, Abu, it's not for the wealthy or the small one. Even this
So my
big
question
guy,
comes, as always,
if you just add him, let me tell you,
100,000.
I've done quotes for them. Add a G.
And
He'll send it back to you, Leslie. What is happening? This is a guy who has 4 vehicles, big top range vehicles, but he's telling you, boss, don't assume that I drive a Land Rover or a VX.
so what does it mean? What does
I can
it
throw
mean?
money. What does- yes.
Because my question is, we make
It's-
Kenya government makes a lot of its money on tax on fuel.
Yes.
Yes,
Right? If
That's
you
the
go to
fact.
Thika Road, for example, from 6 a.m. to midday,
Yes.
it's traffic all the way
Yes.
from
Yes.
Survey.
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true.
And every time I pass there and ask myself, government is just counting money. As these cars are in traffic, you must be enjoying because someone is making money
Yes.
off the fuel they're
Yes.
using. So you keep 90% of those cars home.
Now, how will we get through?
So exactly, where do you
How
want
will
to
we
get that money
generate
back from?
the fuel
Yeah?
tax? Where
So
will
what's
we
the,
get it?
what's the game plan here? You must ask yourself, okay, these people are not
What are
stupid.
we
That's my
targeting
assumption.
here?
So what are they targeting?
What are they targeting?
What are we
Yeah.
targeting?
So is there someone they want to give this business for public transport?
Oh my
That's one way of
But
looking
will
at
he be
it.
able to
But will
cater
he be
for that
able to
amount?
cater for that?
Yeah.
We don't mind the direction you're
Number
taking.
2, is it that they want to just create this as a way to divert attention from something else they want? Like I'll tell you, palm oil.
Yes.
They're almost doubling the price right
Yes.
now. Remember, there's a time it was very high, then
Very
the
high.
government had to intervene and bring it down. Now again, they want to double it. Yeah?
Double it.
And I remember those industrialists went to face the parliamentary committee, and they were told there are many things you can do, including a lot of things. Yeah. So my question is, okay, so who is actually being targeted here?
What is the end game?
What's the end game?
Yeah.
What's the
And it's not just you. You see, Jimmy, if you stop using that car, a few fuel stations also have to close.
Yes.
Right?
It's a ripple
Yes.
effect.
It's a ripple
employment
effect.
will have
It's a
to
ripple
go,
effect.
right? That tax on fuel is not going to come. So I always ask myself, so what is it?
What is the end
Do you know
game?
what's the end game?
Let's think about
You tell
it.
us. You tell us. You
That's
tell us.
1. 2. You said you're 3. Yeah.
Okay, now the other issue is things like the bread, for example.
Yes.
They want to double the
Consumption.
bread.
Hey.
And someone had the audacity to tell us he's trying to control diabetes. I don't know how these guys come up with these ideas.
Or they think we are.
Oh my.
Yeah,
That was a
and I
sorry
think in their
statement.
head, if you look at what they're targeting,
sorry
they're targeting things that they believe these people
Cannot
in
do
these
without.
4
Cannot do
million
without.
eat. The
Cannot
ones
do
with
without.
bread. Uko chini mnakulanga uji and something in the
Yes,
morning and cassava.
yes.
So they are feeling these are very small group here. We can cut them and familiar them, right? There are few people who have cars in a village. Not everyone has a car,
True.
right?
Not
So
everyone.
people are thinking that doesn't concern.
Yeah,
them.
it was.
But remember, when you fall sick, it is that car that takes you to hospital. When you fall sick, when something happens to that car there,
That's
that is
true.
the car you use.
That is
That's
the guy
true.
right?
you use.
That's
That
true.
village
Yeah,
uses.
That's true.
And if
That's
you
true.
put more money, more taxes on,
strain on you.
on vehicles that are already paying you advance
Yeah.
tax, it means the cost will also go higher.
Definitely.
So what is the balancing game? Yeah, so if you see what is targeted, motor vehicle, bread, and oil, those are the things
Right.
Those are key areas.
there is a particular class of people that seem to be targeted. And I ask myself, so who was the dynasty? Maybe these were the
Maybe
dynasty.
this was the dynasty you're referring to.
Wait, explain that. So because I thought you thought dynasties are now protected. So
Yes, because the upper ones have been protected.
those are not the
The
dynasties.
ones who are being exploited.
ones are not in this
So when they
discussion.
started and told you, hey, dynasty
Oh.
buyer,
It
I
is that
think
4 million guy.
they understood it is
The
you
middle
as you
class.
thought it is the guy above
At
you.
you, the
Mimi.
guy that- no,
Kumbe ni wewe.
it's you. That dynasty is you.
Yeah.
You who actually makes your payments
So you
on
better
time.
do something about it before you must show them
What-
something
we
about
actually
how
just-
what
we cooperate. We what?
Nah,
what?
leave it
No,
now
no,
the
no.
politicians to
This one we lobby, we push, we actually.
It's time to find out who your MP is.
No, it's time to find out
What of it?
who's your guy in
The MCA.
Parliament. And on a serious note, we need to actually.
and you should not accept anything like a secret ballot.
Let's
You
not even
want to
accept.
know
We
how
want
to
to
vote.
know what the MP for Shinyali
Voted for.
voted for.
Either for or against.
The
this
MP for Madare, what he voted for. Those are the constituencies that I come from. I want to make sure I know what those guys will do. Because if you did that and Abu did that, there'll actually be some restraint here. There will actually be some restraint, and the outcome will be in your favor. Because now